Hi, I'm Alicia Duque, and welcome to The Progressive Voice. On today's episode, we are going to continue with infrastructure and discuss broadband. Broadband is critical to households and businesses. During the COVID pandemic, with so many NEPA locals working from home and students in virtual classrooms, we learned firsthand how critical having access to broadband in our daily lives is. Having internet connectivity and no broadband is the equivalent of having a mailbox with no road that leads to it. Seems like the whole plan to upgrade broadband is being done on a dial-up connection. Before getting started on this episode, we're going to begin with the yellow flag segment. At The Progressive Voice, our yellow flag segments are dedicated to help spot any misinformation or false choices. You might have heard there's no reason to invest in rural broadband because there's already many areas that have internet connectivity. While having internet connectivity is true, having access to fast, reliable broadband is not. In rural parts of NEPA, we have our very own digital divide. There are many rural communities in NEPA still using dial-up. Certain parts of NEPA have access to broadband, but that broadband we have access to is barely even workable. According to the Federal Communications Commission, more than 800,000 Pennsylvanians lack access to robust, reliable, high-speed internet, and more than 520,000 of those residents are living in rural areas. So what do we need to do to build back a better broadband system in NEPA? Let's explore.
We like to include things like broadband internet as infrastructure because, again, it's the same principle. It's part of the foundation, the basis upon we build creating things and moving them around and moving people around and getting people where they need to go. Getting kids where they need to go with education depends more and more and more on broadband internet. And that's why we talk about it so much. In fact, the electricity grid is part of infrastructure, and we often compare that now to broadband internet for rural places. You know, about 80 years ago, we had the Rural Electrification Act. And again, this was the federal government pitching in, showing its muscle, what it does best. And we electrified really rural, hard to find places, the hollers in Eastern Kentucky and West Virginia and places that, didn't expect to get electricity for a long time. They got them because of the Rural Electrification Act under the Roosevelt administration. It's the same principle. We have to do the same thing with broadband internet. And that's why I do include broadband internet as infrastructure. We do have big pockets where people don't have the same access to the internet in parts of Wayne County, parts of Pike County, in parts of Luzerne County and Monroe County. Northeastern Pennsylvania has a lot of places that are part of what they call the digital divide. That's the modern speak. Young people like you, Alicia, you like phrases like that, I know. And what we're talking about is, on one side of the divide, you have the haves, and the other side, you have the have-nots. And the have-nots are the kids that are getting left behind in their education because they can't log on to Wikipedia and find out what something is, or they can't, figure out the word for something in a different language. They're studying really fast. All of the things that the internet provides, they can't go on streaming services because, there are actually places that still use dial-up in northeastern Pennsylvania. It's crazy. And that's a big need. It's kind of, I'm optimistic about advancing on that score because if you think about it, it's something that unites Democrats and Republicans. Republicans represent a lot of rural places. And when I talk about broadband for rural places, I look across the aisle and I see them nodding yes. So that is very encouraging.
The Pennsylvania Rescue Plan gives research and development $100 million. This is not just for now, it's for the future. Broadband will expand not only telehealth, not only education, but also expand it for other opportunities economically. Let's use that $200 million wisely. Let's invest in broadband and give more of Pennsylvania the opportunity to succeed. Find out more, pahouse.com.
We live in a knowledge-driven economy where access to reliable, affordable broadband is critical. Our lack of broadband access hinders our students' ability to learn. It drives away business and makes it more difficult for families and friends to connect. When it comes to emergency medical services, every second counts. Emergency service providers need access to robust broadband to ensure they are able to communicate with patients and hospitals effectively and transmit and receive critical data to implement the latest technology. It seems our healthcare systems are doing the best they could possibly do right now. We must support and invest in a new broadband system now. Call your legislators, tell them to support this investment to have access for all people in NEPA to have reliable broadband so they can thrive and stay connected. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and share with your friends. We have so much more information on our website and would love for you to join us as a member. Please visit us at actiontogethernepa.org to become part of the progressive voice in NEPA.